What's up, everybody? I'm doing this TikTok live, and I'll be posting it on YouTube after. So if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate it. We're gonna get into the post combine mock. Obviously, I've been posting some videos about it. But yeah, I mean, I'll get out of the way periodically like this so you guys can see, um, kind of the mock I have up here and where I think the wind's blowing after the combine. And I'll just periodically be going doing that, like getting out of the frame so you guys can see exactly what teams that you like are taking, what player there's taking, and why I can always explain as well. So we're gonna be on for the next hour or so, and then yeah, I'll be answering some questions. Obviously, we can have some Q and A's, and I'll continue to move out of the way so you guys can see it too. But I wanted to do a live. I did one last week. I'm trying to do one at least 3 or 4 times a week, and I'll post them all on YouTube after if you guys want to go back and look at them. Um, but yeah, this is kind of where I see things going. I know Membu people were pretty high on. I think he's going to go 4 to the Patriots. I think he has future All Pro written all over him. Whether it's at guard, whether it's at tackle, that remains to be seen. Probably guard, but still, I think it's super important that we start evaluating these prospects and seeing who, like Shamar Stewart, guaranteed top 15 pick now. I think he's guaranteed. So I can see Carolina taking a huge swing on a guy like that and hoping he turns into Miles Garrett, and taking that risk like he might just be Javon Kinlaw. But I think teams like that really want a guy with high upside like Shamar Stewart. But yeah, once we get some questions, start doing some Q&A as well. But until then, yeah, obviously, what's up with pick 4? Armand Membu, bro. Yeah. I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go that high. I really do. I'll keep getting out of the way so you guys can see it more and more. But Membu dominated at the combine. I think he is a relative athletic score was 17th out of 14 like 100 prospects. So I can see it. How realistic is Dart to Seattle? I think it's very realistic. I really do. I think Dart to Seattle is going to be probably going to happen at this point. Because think about it, there's like not a huge difference between him and Sanders, right? I value Dart a little more than Sanders. Other evaluators think Shador is better than Dart. I don't agree with that. There's been a lot of talk that Shador's falling. I have him going 6 to Tennessee. I have the Raiders trading up to get the number 1 overall pick and take Cam Ward in this mock. Yeah, obviously I'll post my analysis throughout these videos as well, but I'll get out of the way so you guys can see this for a sec, and I'll do it periodically so you can see the full mock I have here. And yeah, I mean, I kind of think like at this point, Tennessee, obviously it would be ideal if the Giants traded up to number 1, right? Because then they could still take Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. But let's say the Giants don't give him a substantial offer and the Raiders give him 2 firsts and a second or 2 seconds, which I have here. That would be they get the 6 overall pick. They could still take Shador if they like him, or if not, they could take Drew Aller or somebody next year, Arch Manning, Kate Klubnik, someone like that, and they could always take, Luther Burden there at 6, or Tyler Warren, or somebody like that. So I can really see a lot of this playing out, especially Shamar Stewart. Like I think it's guaranteed. I know the production in college was minimal, 4 sacks, right? But he's going to be probably a very good NFL player. I can see him being a star, superstar level, and I think Trayvon Walker was very similar in the sense where Trayvon Walker was not that productive in college, more productive than Shamar Stewart, but dominated at the combine, then went number 1 overall, and now he's 10 sack a year guy. But yeah, now I'm back. So you guys see my face for a little bit. I'll keep periodically moving my head out of the way so you guys can see the whole draft, and I'll answer questions and all that. But do I think Gentry will go top 10? I don't, unless the Raiders don't trade up for the first pick. Like if the Raiders stay at 6, I can see Gentry going at 6, or Chicago at 10. The thing is with Chicago, though, and I'll answer all these questions, don't worry. The thing about Chicago at 10 is the reason why I haven't taken Will Campbell or Membu, whoever drops to 10. In this mock, it's Campbell and Membu goes 4 to the New England Patriots, which by the way is an excellent pick. All these Patriots fans are going to come on here and be like, "You're high, you're fucking crazy. Like, what are you doing? Membu at 4." watch his tape. He's going to be an all pro in the NFL. And I'm posting this on YouTube after as well if you guys want to see it fully. And that's in my bio. But I think Ben Johnson can still get Trevion Henderson or Marion Hampton in round two, right? Worst comes to worst, Quishon Judkins. Let's see. Judkins in round two for Ben Johnson. Awesome, right? You can go Campbell because they need a guard desperately too. And Campbell, I think, is an all pro guard. I've said it for a while. I don't think he's a tackle, but it's not the end of the world if you start him at tackle and experiment with that. He obviously has the production in college where you can do that. Arm length is a little bit of a concern for Will Campbell specifically, but I do think that he's probably going to play guard, and then you take one of the running backs in round two. But yeah, in this mock, I have the Raiders trading up for pick one. I'll get out of the way though, so you guys can see the full mock again. Um, and yeah, I think Jets take best player available. Obviously, I just posted a TikTok on that. Tyler Warren. I could see Jade Barron, but the thing is, nickel. They think he's going to play nickel in the NFL, right? All these nickel prospects. My good friend Lucas Sweeney, one of the best evaluators there is in the game, personally. He was telling me that look at the nickels in previous years and what happens to them. They fall in the draft every single year. Where if they think they're going to play nickel in the NFL, Cooper DeJean, Brian Branch, just to name a few. So I'd be shocked if Jahdae Barron goes higher than 14 to the Colts. I'd be shocked if that happens. But yeah, Membu is my OT1 now. I don't think there's any like Membu, I don't think allowed a single sack. He might have allowed five pressures all year. And he was playing SEC, so he was playing against all those guys, like James Pierce, Walter Nolan sometimes, like all these guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who do I think? Love the Jahad Campbell pick from the Rams. Yeah, dude, the Rams needed a linebacker desperately. I think Ernest Jones, whatever happened there, let's throw that out the window, right? Like I really think that Jahad Campbell could be a top 15 player from this draft. He's a true linebacker, though, and linebackers tend to fall. The reason why I have Jalen Walker, he's listed as a linebacker. And I know there was a comment earlier that said that specifically uh, Campbell, or not Campbell, Walker, linebacker. Why would they take Walker? I have that to the Texans. He's an edge rusher. He's not a linebacker. So yeah, that's why I have him. And Jalen Walker, I don't understand the hype. Like I like Jalen Walker a lot. He's a bit small to play edge rusher. I think he's underrated in coverage personally, but at the same time, it's like you're not taking an edge rusher that's under, 200 and whatever, 50 pounds, 260 in the top 10. Like everyone's mocks have Jalen Walker in the top 10. Carolina's going to go Shamar Stewart over Jalen Walker if they're there. Really, I'll get out of the way for a sec so you guys can see this as well. But again, I'll periodically be getting out of the way. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering why the heck I keep getting out of the frame, it's to show you the mock because I'll be posting on YouTube right after as well. I don't think Dark goes top 10. I think he should go above Sanders, but I don't think the NFL world agrees. I think they're lower on Shador Sanders than NFL media, which is obvious, but I still think Shador will go higher than Dart if I had to make a guess. Mike Green to the Bengals, I can see, but I just think the defensive line, like getting Kenneth Grant, would help them tremendously, especially if they do re-sign T. Higgins. I know they franchise tagged him, like I said a few weeks ago, they would. And they want to extend Jamar Chase. So let's say both of those happen, and they get Trey, and they also extend Hendrickson. They're going to take a defensive lineman. They're not going to take Ted McMillan. I have Ted McMillan falling in this draft specifically. I think Burden's going to be the wide receiver one if we don't consider Hunter a wide receiver one in this draft. Like I think he's going to be drafted higher than Ted at this point. I think he's better yak guy, better separator. Tet has a great IQ though. He scored really high on that test that they take about reading defenses and stuff, and he's obviously 6'5", a vertical threat. I can see the Cowboys taking Genti or Tet. I really don't think anybody else goes right there personally. And obviously we see all the love with Matthew Golden. That's why I have Matthew Golden going higher than Ikbuka in this mock specifically. People love Matthew Golden. I think Igbuka is better than Matthew Golden personally, but people are, they have a hard on for Matthew Golden right now. Excuse my language, but like there's always a prospect everyone's infatuated and they're trying to make seem way better than he actually is. If you watch the tape, he's a great separator, but maybe it was because Quinn Ewers was inconsistent and playing injured all year. But if you watch the tape, I mean, Igbuka's tape is better, Jaden Higgins' tape is better, Ted McMillan's tape is better, and Luther Burden's tape is better. So like I'm a little bullish on like the 40, great. Like we know we can separate at a high level. I'm not saying Matthew Golden's not going to be a great NFL player. I think he can be a wide receiver one or two. But everyone tries to make him seem like, oh, he's the number one wide receiver in this draft I've been seeing now. And it's like he's not even close to that, in my personal opinion, unless you're like a Texas fan. Like, I get why you would say that. Like, I've seen some of my boys at Stripe Sports, they obviously went to UT. Of course, they're going to have Matthew Golden as their number one guy in their mock. But yeah, Will Campbell to the Patriots. I can see that, man, but I think Membu could be better. Yeah. Egbuka is a slot guy, and Matt Golden can be a deep threat. Yeah, I think it just depends on scheme. Like, I think Egbuka is a very safe pick. I think, he's basically discount JSN. That's not a bad thing. Like, that's still a first round type of talent. He's exclusively slot, of course, but he doesn't drop the ball. Matt Golden's a separator. I think Jaden Higgins is better than both of them, to be perfectly honest. I think Jaden Higgins is going to be Nico Collins. I think that's my comp for him. I've been in on Jaden Higgins for a long, long time. I'm wondering if the NFL world will start to warm up to Jaden Higgins possibly being the best wide receiver in this draft, or at least right behind Burden and Hunter and Tet, because I think he's right there. I have Seahawks taking Dart, as you can see right there. And again, I'll get out of the way. Yeah, I'll get out of the way for a sec so you guys can see that. But yes, it's kind of, I have Pierce falling, not because of the talent. I just see Pierce falling with Shamar's excellent combine. And Pierce is a little small. Nick Emenwari, I have at 30 to the Bills right there. That obviously would be a steal. I can see Jaden Higgins, Nick Emenwari, or if Derek Harmon's there, I think they go Derek Harmon. But there's a world of possibilities. And the thing is like this is a great draft for contenders because the top 10 aren't really that different than, you know, pick 30, pick 31, pick 32. Like, I think there's a lot of sleepers. I think Derek Harmon's a star. Walter Nolan's a star. Um, Ashton Genty, Ted McMillan, Jaden Higgins. These are guys all out of the top 10, right? Whereas you see like Mason Graham, like there are concerns about Mason Graham, not about the production. I'm a guy like, I like college production. I would not draft Shamar Stewart in the top 10, but I do have Carolina taking a risk on him because he didn't have college production. Like Mason Graham, I don't give a fuck if he's fat, out of shape. Like the dude, like he's not, by the way. But I don't. It's like the Luca thing. Like I don't. The guy produced at a high level. Like that matters in big games. Like I'm tired of the Mason Graham hate. Like oh, his arms are short. Oh, his hand size is short. Dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but like he produced in college. I think that matters, man. Like that matters. Like he was dominant in the biggest games. So that's why he's going five to Jacksonville. He's still the best defensive lineman in this class. I love Walter Nolan. I can see the upside. I can see Walter Nolan being a better NFL player than Mason Graham. But I think right away, Mason Graham helps Jacksonville so much. You have Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines Allen, as he goes now instead of Josh Allen, and Mason Graham on that D line. That can help the secondary. You can get Savon Revel maybe in round two or somebody like that, or whatever, Azarie Thomas, is that how you pronounce it, from Florida State? That guy's a first round pick in my mind, and he's going to be going in round two. So, like, there are a world of options. If you're looking at Jacksonville, you're like, why aren't we taking Barron? Why aren't we taking Will Johnson? Like, Johnson's going to fall, man. And it's because of recency bias. I think Johnson's the best corner in this draft, but I do think he falls to 15 because of recency bias. I'll get out of the way for a second. Sorry, I just had to go off because I'm sick and tired of the Mason Graham hate, man. And the reason why Kelvin Banks is so low is because he's a guard. Yeah. I mean, all these guys, I try to tell you guys Banks and Campbell were guards. Like, maybe they can be tackles eventually, but I think they're two all pro guards. I think Membu can actually play tackle, which is why he's going four. And at worst, he's an all pro guard, right? And I have the Raiders. Yeah, if you guys are wondering why the Raiders have the first pick, I have them trading up, trading two firsts in a second or 2 seconds for that first overall pick because I think there's one prize in this draft at the quarterback position, and it's Cam Ward, and there's no one that can even be anywhere close to him in this draft. Obviously, as you can see, I have Mikal Williams falling. I don't get the hype. I can see him going as high as eight. Obviously, the upside is tantalizing for Mikal Williams, but again, we'll see how his pro day affects that. Nick Emenwari, I have going in the first round. Gray Zabel's officially kind of like a guard, but I can see the Chiefs trying to play him at moving somebody over to play right or left to replace Jawan Taylor, and then sliding Zabel in at guard. But yeah, I have Dart obviously going to Seahawks. This is a little bit of a surprise to people. Obviously, the Seahawks need a guard, but with Tyler Booker, okay, so this is why, and I'll let you guys see it in a second, but I want to answer a few questions here. The reason why I think that they go Jackson Dart there is he can learn under Geno for a year. He doesn't have to start right away, right? And let's think about this. Tyler Booker's now fallen off a cliff, his draft value, right? What do the Seahawks need most? They're not getting Membu. He's not falling to them, right? A guard. They need an interior offensive lineman. Who can they get in round two if they take Dart in round one? Probably Travis, or Tyler Booker, right? So again, yeah, but I'll move in a sec. I just want to answer a few questions so you guys can see that. Milrow is not going first round. I'm pretty confident that, though I do like his upside, but he needs to go to like the Saints. I think Kellen Moore would be good for him and his, obviously just playing with Jalen Hurts or just coaching him, that would probably be the correct move. And he could learn from Derek Carr. Yeah. Let's see. Jalen Walker sliding that far. I do. I do think Jalen Walker slides that far. Again, I don't get the hype of top 10. If he's an edge rusher, he's undersized. I get it. I think he'll be an excellent NFL player. He's not a linebacker, right? So like he's going to be drafted as an edge rusher. He's not going before Shamar Stewart. He's not unless Carolina takes him. If Carolina takes Jalen Walker there, I can see it. Jalen Walker's not going from 8 to like 20, I don't think. Unless the Niners draft him, but I don't know why the Niners wouldn't draft a D line or O line, right? So I'll get out of the way so you guys have can see this a little bit. But again, this is kind of what I have. I have McMillan falling. I have Shamar Stewart, whether we want to believe it or not, going top 10. And even like, dude, even as a Niner fan, like I think the Niners would take Shamar Stewart at 11 over Walter Nolan. So the reason I had McMillan fall is because people are kind of bullish on him now. Um, or kind of not bullish, like just they don't his value's dropping. One, he didn't perform at the combine. Two, Arizona didn't really play anybody. Big 12 is the worst conference in football for the big conferences, right? Pretty much. And Noah Fafita was awful though last year, so I'm not gonna like I like McMillan. Let's get that out of the way, right? The problem is Burden's better. Hunter's better, probably, right? Both those two guys. And then McMillan could fall if Genti goes 12 to the Cowboys, right? So again, I think he has 6'5" vertical threat. His separation metrics aren't as great as people think. Or 6'4" rather, he's not 6'5". I think he can be an X receiver, but it just depends. I can see McMillan going higher. I just can't see him. I can see him going six to the Raiders or that. But don't be shocked when Burton goes before McMillan. I'm telling you guys right now. Let me answer some of these questions, then I'll get out of the way so you guys can see this again. You're hoping Steelers get a Mecca? Yeah, that's what I have here, right? Or no, I have Green Bay getting a Mecca. I have Steelers going Matt Golden. Again, people have a hard on for Matt Golden all of a sudden. Like I said, like a Mecca is better. I don't think there's any doubt, but like Golden is right there. And I have Burden, Tat, and Hunter going before him. No way the Patriots don't trade down. It's classic Pats front office. Yeah, but so yes, I can see that possibility. Would it be the Jets trading up for Shador Sanders? Who's trading up for Shador Sanders there for? Steelers? I don't think the Steelers will ever trade up ever in their life. Like they don't do that. They're okay being just mid, like 10 wins every year. They don't have like the nuts, I feel like, to make a move like that, move up for a guy they want. Like they just kind of stand pat and they've drafted well. It's just like they're not going anywhere with Justin Fields as their starting quarterback or Russell Wilson, right? Like depending who their starting quarterback is. Like the Steelers are like maybe in one of the worst positions in football, purgatory, right? Where you're good enough just to get to the playoffs, but you're not bad enough to get a top pick. So this was the Raiders' dilemma last year. The Raiders wouldn't have to trade up if they had just done what they were supposed to and lose games. They were winning. That's the problem. Like no one wants Shador Sanders in the top three, so like that's why I can see the Browns taking Ward if Tennessee keeps the pick. If Tennessee keeps the pick, they're taking Carter, and Ward will go to the Browns. But this is why I think the Raiders want Ward. If they don't want Darnold, they want Ward, and they're willing to trade up to make it happen. I think Brady's still going to make a play. I think he has the nuts to go make a play and to trade whatever is possible for the best quarterback in this draft. So, what's the plan for the Cardinals? Well, look, I have Banks there, right? Banks can play guard. They have a need at guard. That's why I'm going to have him there. Maybe you put him at tackle. They could take an edge rusher, but I mean, we'll just see. We'll see. I mean, it just really depends who falls, who doesn't in this draft. I have Giants going Hunter. Why? Why do I have the Giants going Hunter? Because he's the best player in the draft. Excuse my language, why the fuck would you take Shador Sanders over Travis Hunter? I don't care if you put a raccoon at quarterback. Like, do that. I'd still take Travis Hunter. They're not going anywhere next year, anyways, the Giants, unless they have a really good quarterback. Shador is not that. If they got Ward, it'd be a different story. I would take Ward if he's there at three. But if it's Shador, no way, dude. No way. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a little too like mean to Shador Sanders and not giving him like what, obviously he's a great processor. He's accurate as hell, could be solid right away because he's played a lot of games. He fits the mold of like if players play a lot of games in college, they typically are good right away. Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Jaden Daniels is like 25. Like everyone's again, it's so weird evaluating quarterbacks because everyone's out on Trey Lance, right? But everyone's in on Jaden Daniels. And I know Jaden has made the most of his opportunities, was a top pick in first year in the league. Jaden Daniels is only 6 months younger than Trey Lance, but we're all of a sudden done with Trey Lance. And we're done with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is 3 years younger than Jaden Daniels, or 2 years younger. Like evaluating quarterbacks is so weird in the way we perceive it. But what remains clear is quarterbacks that played a lot in college will go higher in drafts because they are more NFL ready. Penix, Nix, Jane Daniels. This is why Drake and Caleb, even though they played a few years in college, weren't as good right away as those other guys, right? Because again, they played a little less than Bo Nix and Bo Nix basically and Jay Daniels. So again, that's why next year everyone's like Arch is going to be the first. Arch is not going to declare after next year. You guys can quote me on this. I can guarantee you Arch goes to Texas for 2 years because they'll want to see more college games from Arch Manning before he's able to go and play quarterback in the National Football League. He's making 10 million a year at Texas. So again, I'll get out of the way so you guys can see it. Again, I'll keep getting out of the way so you guys can see these. But yeah, obviously I have Loveland going to the Chargers. I think that's what everyone wants. I have the Eagles snagging Mikael Williams, which would be crazy. The thing is this is such a deep draft with a ton of talent. The Eagles are unequivocally going to get someone amazing at 32. Like, I'll guarantee you. No Tyler Booker. No, he's fallen, man. Booker's fallen for sure. You think the Cardinals draft a quarterback? No way. I would say like no. I'm so confident the Cardinals are not taking a quarterback. Yeah. Devin Booker is falling too. Yeah, some NBA stuff. Yeah, Devin Booker in the NBA, the Suns aren't having the best time. Do I think the other Sanders goes undrafted? Yes, unless Dion has some dirt on somebody and calls in a favor. Shiloh's not ready for the league. Yeah. Yeah, I have the Bills taking Emin Worry. I think okay, so if the draft plays out like this, I think the best picks of the first round here are Membu at four, which it'll be okay. Membu at four, by the way, y'all, is gonna be like when Kristaps Porzingis was taken by the Knicks in the NBA. People are like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? Like, why are we taking him so high? And then he's gonna be great. And Porzingis was great on the Knicks. Say what you want about what happened toward the end of his end of his Knicks tenure. That's gonna be the Membu pick. Everyone at the time is gonna be like, why the fuck are they taking a guard from Missouri at four instead of Will Campbell and less pedigree than Campbell? But it's going to turn out to be an excellent pick. So I think that's a great pick. I think Burden at nine to the Saints is a great pick. I think Burden is a superstar. It is it written all over him. Best yards after catch prospect in a long time, in forever. So do you think the Rams could take a tight end too or a playmaker? See, in this draft specifically, Loveland and Warren are gone, right? You're not going to take Terrence Ferguson at 26, right? Jahad Campbell makes a lot of sense. Jahad Campbell, they need a linebacker since Ernest Jones left, right? Like that remains apparent. Now kind of be like fitting their like he's a Fred Warner type, Jahad Campbell. Imagine adding him. So obviously you have Kobe Turner, Byron Young, then you got Braden Fisk, and of course Jared Verse. Imagine that with Jahad Campbell. So yeah, bad mock. Dude, hey, look, again, I'm not gonna like come in here and say like I know everything or I know exactly what's gonna happen or whatever. Like I say that in my videos because that's how I feel at the moment. and I don't really care if people come back and cook me if I'm wrong. That's the thing about this industry. You have to take risks. You have to stand on it. If I'm wrong, I don't give a shit. I'll respect you if you hate. That's fine. Follow me. Even if you hate me or love me, follow me and support my content. I don't really care if you love or hate what I put out or what my mock is. We all have different opinions. And to be perfectly honest, none of us know exactly what's going to happen. Puka, Grant Mona, right there in the comments, one of the best people in sports media, by the way, covers the Clippers for the Sporting Tribune. He says that oh, he brought up a great point. Puka ran a 4.56, dog. No one thought Puka was going to be a superstar, and Puka's amazing. So the combine matters a little bit less than people think. People think. So again, none of us really know. We can make projections and we can make all of this, right? But Mel Kiper's wrong 95% of the time, and he's making 500 more K than me to work at ESPN. And basically, I could do his job, right? Half the people in the industry can do his job. So, because he's wrong like 90% of the time. Again, it's about personality, it's about entertainment, especially in this business. It doesn't matter how good of an evaluator you are. Like, there's a ton of idiots that get paid a lot of money to talk about scouting and to talk about just stuff in general, right? So I'll get out of the ways. But again, none of us really know exactly what's going to happen. But based on my projections right now, before any pro days, this is how I think the draft will go. Exactly like this. But yeah, Nick Emmenware have at 30. Combine matters for interviews and medicals. Character is the most important. 100%. Well, I wouldn't say 100% because Jalen Carter still has character concerns, but he's a superstar. So people don't really care what he did in college because he's good at football. Problem with society, but that's life. If you're good at something, people don't give a shit if you're a good or bad person. That's unfortunate, but we're not the moral police, right? Unless you're the Baseball Hall of Fame voters. That's why Bonds isn't in. But yeah. 8 is very wrong. I'm sorry. I know that's going to be the one that gets the most flack, right? Like Shamar Stewart at 8. Um, Shamar Stewart at 8 is a little bit of a wild card, but I guarantee you he goes top 15. From what I've heard, now I don't have the best sources in the world, but from what I've heard and who's been there and who was at, I wasn't at the combine, but from people that were there, everyone says Shamar Stewart's going top 15. From what I've heard and who I've been texting. So again, Membu at 4 is a great pick. Trust me. Membu is the real deal. Membu is like, yeah, he's great. He's great. But yeah, I'll get back over here so I can keep talking. Again, I'll periodically move my head so you guys can see it. But yeah, not mad at bro. Keep doing it. I appreciate it. 100%. 11 is wrong. Oh, we got the Niner fans coming in. Hey, I'm a diehard Niner fan. 11, Walter Nolan's a great pick. Who else would you prefer there if this is how it goes the first time? Because obviously, if Campbell or Membu is there at 11, they're going to go offensive line. I personally don't want to take Kelvin Banks at 11. I do not care. I do not want Josh Simmons. I would hate that pick. Josh Simmons has great upside, but the problem with the 49ers is you don't need another injured player. Half the roster is always hurt. Okay. I don't want Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons been hurt for like 6 months. Like he might be great long term, but do I trust the Niners medical staff to take Simmons and turn him into a star? Absolutely not. They may have the worst medical staff in the sport. Everyone's always hurt. That's why people make fun of them and cook them. And I'm a Niner fan saying this on Twitter, say or X rather, that it's an infirmary, the team. Yeah, I'll get out of the way. So, well, Tampa picks a receiver because he fell, right? So that's why. You don't need to pay Godwin then, and you can take Tet. Dude, Burden is better than Tet. Burden's better, I think, than Tet right now. Let's see. Worst Chargers mad. What? Oh, Chargers medical staff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is this mock draft, dude? I'm telling you right now, the casuals will be like, Membu, what the fuck, Membu at 4, but like Membu is good. Membu is great. Trust me, it's gonna be a great pick. You're high on the two Mizzou Tigers. As a Mizzou fan, I like it, dude. And I didn't even like. I think Luther Burden is the best wide receiver aside from Hunter in the draft, and I think that Membu is the best tackle in the draft. I'll stand on it. So. Bro might be a little on the special side. Why? For the mock or the way I'm conveying information? We're all a little different, man. We're all a little different. I do have a big personality, but last time I checked, all I have is ADHD. But, you know, we don't know. No one ever knows. Membu at 1? Oh, ain't TD, ain't, okay. Is an OT 1. Yeah, I get what you're saying. What should the Chargers do specifically? So the Chargers are going to do two things, right? They're either going to take running back or they're going to take Loveland. So just admit you don't watch the Niners or understand the wide system. Okay. This is Josh Jones. I'm a diehard Niner fan. I've watched every game for the last 10 years since I've really gotten into football. I don't care whether Nolan is a good fit for the wide nine system or not. He can adapt. And he has said that he can adapt to the system in an interview. Look at Chase Senior's interview with him last week, 2 weeks ago. We need Banks, dude. I don't want Banks. Banks is a guard. I don't want Banks. He has like 31. He has like T-Rex arms, dude. I don't want Banks. I'm sorry. I don't care. Green Bay never takes wide receivers in the first round. Yeah, and that's why they always lose in round one. They need another wide receiver. But again, maybe they don't because like Matt LaFleur is pissing me off. If I'm a Green Bay fan, I think he should be on the hot seat. Like, why does he never get Jaden Reed involved? Why doesn't he ever get his best players involved? His play calling is washed, in my opinion. I know Jordan Love threw a lot of picks, but like I think Matt LaFleur should get a lot more flack than what he's getting, personally. Let's see. Giants don't take a quarterback. I don't think so. I think they sign Aaron Rodgers or trade or sign Darnold, someone like that. Where would I put Jalen Noel? He's not a first round pick. I think he's gonna go round two. I think it's gonna be steal. I think Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins, two Iowa State guys, are elite. So I think they're both gonna go pretty high. No Kyle McCord, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. You think Seattle's taking Dart? I do because I think Booker can fall to them in round two now. Can you explain the Texans pick? Yeah, and I'll get out of the way once I explain the Texans pick here. So the reason why I have them going edge rusher there with Jalen Walker, everyone and their mom is high on Jalen Walker now. He's like the fun, sexy guy to be like, oh, I'm gonna put him in my top 10 of my mock. Like I see everybody do it. He's not a top 10 player in this draft. Okay, he's an edge rusher. He's undersized. I like him, but he's undersized. He's going to fall a little bit. He's not a linebacker. They list him as a linebacker. He's not going to play linebacker in the NFL. He's going to be an edge rusher. Texans need some more pressure, get more pressure on the quarterback. D'Amico's whole defense is predicated on pressure to the quarterback. Now, they don't have a bad defensive line, and they obviously need an offensive line, but they're not going to take Booker in the first round. They're not going to take Booker in the first round, especially with Booker falling. They would maybe take Josh Simmons, I could see. Maybe they take tackle, but that's where I have the Ravens. I have the Ravens taking Josh Simmons because I do think that Stanley's going to leave, and then obviously they're going to need a tackle. So Bucks will go defense. It's possible. I could see Jahad Campbell to the Bucks. I could see Jalen Walker to the Bucks for sure. If Booker goes to second, Bears are easily taking him. Yeah, they could, but I think the Bears probably go guard with Will Campbell in the first round, and then they go running back in the second round. Yeah. Let's see. Membu to the 49ers. I would love it. Membu's not falling to us, bro. Like, I'll tell you right now, Membu's the real deal. JPJ is heading to Baltimore. Yeah, possibly. Will Johnson over Walter Nolan as an I would love Will Johnson, man. But we don't need fucking corners. We got two elite corners, Renardo Green and Lenore. And then we have Mustafa in the secondary. We're not going to sign Hufunga. But dude, our offensive line stinks. And our defensive line stinks besides Nick Bosa, right? And maybe Collins had a really good year, right? Like Gross Matos, who's always hurt. Like I say we as Niner fans. Again, I'm not a part of the team. But like they're I guess it doesn't matter if Will Johnson's the best player available. I don't want Will Johnson at 11. I know it's a deep defensive line and offensive line class, but like okay, you get Will Johnson, cool. Your D line and O line is still ass compared to the Eagles. Excuse my language. So like they don't need that. The Niners are trying to win a Super Bowl next year. They're trying to win next year. They have the easiest schedule in all of football. They are not. I don't think they're going to go Will Johnson. I just don't think so. As good as he is, I don't. I don't. I really don't. Yeah, I'll get out of the way so you guys can see the full mock. Pete Carroll drafted one quarterback and was in the third round. Yeah, so he's not taking Cam Ward. It's possible. I mean, they could always go Darnold. I just think Brady might put it on him to take you know, Cam Ward. 49ers select Shador Sanders. Dude, you're crazy. There's no way they're taking Shador Sanders. Though I'd be in on Shador if he went to the Niners. I mean, Kyle can make any quarterback look good. Same with Sean McVay. Why is McMillan further back? McMillan's gonna fall. I can almost guarantee it at this point. We need someone to replace McKivitz. McKivitz actually had an underrated year last year, but they need a center. The Niners need a center bad. They need to sign that guy Dahlman from Atlanta. I mean, Jake Brendel is literally a domestic terrorist. That guy sucks. He needs to be put in jail for how bad he's played. Like that guy is horrible, horrible. If you guys know him, maybe he's a great guy. I don't care. He can't play football. Get him off my team. That's why Purdy was sacked a bazillion times last year. Is Brendel is the worst center in football, personally, in my opinion. I don't think it's close, and it's a joke that they had him, ranked as the best offensive line last season. Offensive line, come on, dude, no way. Yeah, I'm moving my head for a second, but yeah, why do I have Luther over? Because Luther's better. Luther is going to be a superstar. He's this year's Brian Thomas. Don't make the same mistake. Don't let him drop. Don't let him drop. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now. He is the best yards after catch prospect in NFL history. 30 broken tackles. His 4.42 40 production off the charts. Made Brady Cook look like Jesus Christ reincarnated. Like this guy was awesome. I'm telling you right now. So I'll move my head periodically. Kyle Shanahan needs to learn how to drop the O line. Yeah, dude, it's D line or O line. I would not be mad at either. But they've drafted one O lineman in the first round in the last bazillion years, right under John Lynch. It's always been wide receiver or D line, pretty much. Raiders, yeah, I can see the Raiders trading up. I can. Maybe they go Darnold. I don't think it solves anything. I might as well go get Ward. I think Ward is a star, man. He's got moxie. He's a leader of men. Like he's good. He just got confidence. And Shador has confidence, but Shador doesn't have the talent that Cam Ward has. So again, let's see. What did you say, Brady? You said wise of you to dodge your question. I have like 1,000 questions here in the comments. Oh, Mike Green ain't falling that far. Probably not, but we'll see how he does in his pro day. Of course, this is right now. Yeah. Your stuff is always great. Thanks, Brand. Oh, dude, I appreciate it, big dog. I'm just trying to put this out there. This is my analysis. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, you can hate me, but I'd appreciate a follow and the support regardless. I don't care about the hate, really. Green Bay taking a slot guy. Yeah, I can see it, dude. I know they have Jaden Reed playing in the slot a lot. I guess what I probably should have done, if it makes more sense, is Emeka Buka and Matthew Golden switched, right? Because then Matthew Golden can be the separator in Green Bay's offense. Kind of fits what Love wants to do, which is throw the ball downfield. And Emeka could be good for Pittsburgh while you have Pickens as the X receiver. I could see those switched. There's a flaw there. I'll admit it. Niners are trading up for Travis Hunter. Remember, you heard it here first. I wish, dude, that it's not going to happen. Travis Hunter grew up a Niner fan too. That'd be sick, but it's not going to happen. Who else do you think the Pats should take if they can look to get anyone? I think they should trade for Brandon Ayuk. I think Drake May will win the MVP in 2026 or 2027 if you get him a few weapons. And let's say you draft Membu and you trade your second basically for Brandon Ayuk. And you sign T Higgins or something. Imagine that, dude. Unreal. Drake May is the real deal. I don't think people realize that. Like Drake May, I would not be shocked. People love Jaden Daniels now, and I'm not saying Jaden Daniels isn't great. I think he's awesome. I would not be shocked if Drake May has a better career than Jaden Daniels. Would not. He is it all, man. He is it all. They had a really bad football team last year. Who do I have Detroit taking? Let's see. I have Detroit taken here. James Pierce. I think James Pierce might still fall. I think he's obviously a top 10 quarterback in the draft, but yeah, I can see him falling for sure. Why don't only people make mock drafts based upon team needs? Yeah, I guess it's best. No, look. Tyler Warren is the best player available pick. Luther Burden's the best player available pick. Um, Look, I can go down the charts like right here. Let's see, Malachi Starks, that's need. Okay, so I get your point there. Will Johnson's the best player available. They need a tight end, and they need another edge rusher. Ted McMillan, Tampa Bay. You think that's a position of need? They have Jalen McMillan and Mike Evans. They don't need Ted McMillan, but if he falls to their lap, they're going to take him. There's a ton of best player available picks, in my opinion. Giants will take Sanders. Well, then they'll be the Giants forever. Then they'll never win another Super Bowl if they take Shador Sanders. I don't think they should. But, I'll give Sanders credit. He's probably better equipped for the New York media than any quarterback because he's an egomaniac. He's a narcissist. And that's important, I think, in those big markets because he can make money move. From a perspective of marketing, I think Travis Hunter makes the most sense in New York. The NFL less than the NBA, big markets don't matter as much as like NBA. Like you need Lakers, Celtics on all the time or Warriors. Like no one's watching until this year. I guess players can move the needle a little bit, but the NBA would love Shea if he was not in Oklahoma City. So marketing in the NFL is a little different, but I don't want to see Travis Hunter in Cleveland. Small market, don't want to see it. Like I'd rather see him in New York personally, and I think he fits what they want. They need a DB. It'd help to have another receiver. He could play both. Patriots would be the most ideal fit for Travis Hunter, though, personally, but I don't think he falls to four. Who are the Raiders getting? I haven't traded up for Ward here. Yeah. Can't see the Colts pick. I'll get out of the way, y'all, so you guys can see. Again, this will be posted on YouTube after. It's in the link in my bio, so I'd appreciate a subscription there too. Trying to build that too and go multi-platform just in case we ever get a TikTok ban. That would suck because my income is like relied upon on TikTok. But yeah, Will Johnson falling there is a great pick. I can see Will Campbell to the Niners right there or Banks. I just don't want Simmons. Something tells me they're going to take Simmons at 11, and I'm going to like throw the TV and break it like the meme if the Niners take Simmons. So yeah. Is there a chance the Bears draft Jesse? 100%. If they think a guard like Booker, this guy made a great point in the comments. I forgot who brought it up. But if Booker they think is available in round two, guard, right, from Bama, they could take Jesse at 10. But I have it reversed here. I have Campbell, and then I think Henderson or Judkins or somebody of that stature in round two will be available. Cowboys will not pass on McMillan. Maybe not. So that I was a little mixed there. It's either Gentry or McMillan I have right there to the Cowboys. I'll get out of the way. Um, one of them is there. But McMillan makes the most sense alongside CeeDee Lamb. He really does, but they need a running back. There's no doubt about it. You have Dallas taking Hampton. You have Hampton better than higher than Genty. That's wild. I don't think Hampton's great, but I don't think he's better than Genty. They haven't even interviewed him. It doesn't matter. I mean, the Niners didn't even interview Pearsall, and they drafted him 31st last year or whatever. So, again, let me answer some of these questions. I'll go here a little bit longer. Am I a Patriots fan? No, I'm a Niners fan, but I like Drake May a lot. I would trade Purdy and a first round pick for Drake May. Two first round picks and Brock Purdy for Drake May, personally. And I like Brock Purdy, but like rather have a 6'3", 6'4" quarterback who has more arm talent than a 6 foot quarterback who can see the field. Like with Purdy, there's always going to be some limitations with Brock because his balls get paused, get tipped at the line of scrimmage because he's so small. Like that's always going to be an issue for shorter quarterbacks, and he doesn't have the arm talent of Drew Brees. So I like Purdy, but again, I would trade everything for Drake May to be my quarterback. So Patriots fans are lucky. Let's see. I'll get out of the way. So this is rage bait. No, I don't think so. Don't think it's rage bait. Genuinely insane draft. Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm gonna have a good pause. Yeah. I'm gonna have a lot of these videos coming out in the next few days. So I have Quinn Ewers. He's a riser for sure in my board. I think he's probably going around two or three if I had to guess. Samar Stewart at 8 is nuts. Yeah. Again, I'll go for a few more. Thank you, Jimmy. I think I'm gonna go for a few more minutes here, and then it's gonna be uploaded on YouTube. So finally, I'm gonna worry in the first round. Yes, Pats should draft Luther Burden at 4, maybe. I mean, that would look. I wouldn't be mad at that. I think Burden's the real deal. Why not? Look. I wouldn't be mad at that. I think Burden's the real deal. Why not Ted over Burden? I like Burden personally a little better as a prospect. Ted is an X receiver. Burden has better separation numbers. He's better with the ball in his hands, yards after catch, and he's faster. Ted is 6'4", is a vertical threat. The separation numbers aren't as great as Burden. So I could see, I think Burden is going to go really high. And Membu is going to be the first tackle taken over Will Campbell because his arms are longer. Pause than Will Campbell. I think he's like 34 versus like 30. I think Will Campbell like 32. So Will Campbell's more of a guard. Membu might be a guard, but I think he can play tackle. Like I think he can stick there. And I think had his relative athleticism score was like 11th out of 1700 in history. So if Michigan cornerback is there at 9, Panthers take him. Maybe it's possible, but Panthers need a DB for sure. Barron's gonna fall, even though Barron is awesome. Jade because he's a nickel, and that's where people are projecting him as, right? Nickels in previous years, projections from draft like Cooper DeJean, Brian Branch, they've dropped. So that's why I have him dropping to like 14. I'll get out of the way though for a second. Let me see. Where do we got DJ Giddens? Round 3. I think him and Bashal Tootin will probably go in round 3. Because there's so many good running backs, man. I think round 3 is probably the correct place for those guys. Yeah. Why don't you have Henderson in the first round? I love Henderson, but I think they value Hampton and Genty more, so I think those guys will be higher. But yeah, I'm gonna log off. If you guys want to see the full vid, I've been on for a while now. Go on my YouTube, sub there. I'll upload it right now. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. Hate me or love me, please follow me and support. And you can hate in the comments. I respect all takes. I'm not the be all end all. I'm not Christ the Savior and know everything in the world. I'm just a sports fan like you trying to make things happen. So I love y'all. I appreciate you. Have a great day.